Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to what month is this? March's virtual events group meeting. I'm Robin Raskin, the founder of the virtual events. We have a very simple mission, and that is to make meetings better wherever they happen. I like to say the metaverse, the Marriott, or Mars. I don't care, but they should be tech forward and video first. We've got a pretty exciting show here today, and it is about the creator economy. What an auspicious day to have a meeting about the creator economy. Whereas I like to say to Jim Louderback, who you meet, the creator economy. Today, you know that this week TikTok is either going to be banned or sold or uh, fought over as a political thing. YouTubers are getting a little cold feet about where they are as creators there. And so the world of the creator economy is in a lot of upheaval, but so is every nation business. And what you're seeing in the creator economy today that I think will come across is we've got some amazing people that represent all parts of the ecosystem. This is not about just TikTok and just YouTube. This is about the building blocks for an economy that is already quite powerful, and Jim will tell you about that. So with that, I want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this. We partnered with NAB, National Association of Broadcasters, to actually build a physical creator lab on their show floor. And that will happen April 14th through the 16th in Las Vegas. You are all welcome. There is a secret code. We'll drop it in the chat window if you want to attend for free, and if you're listening to our meeting today. Let me move on. So you're going to meet all these folks in 1 minute, but I'm going to take you back a year ago. We had this idea that broadcasting was changing. It was becoming democratized. It was becoming everybody's in the video business. And you saw this is just a little bit of what we did last year, which was kind of standing room only, and surprised even us about the hunger for people to get educated about the creator economy. Fast forward, and these are just a handful of the speakers that we'll have on our stage this year. We have a stage, we have an exhibit area, we have a networking area. So we really are so proud of what we have done. And I hope, oh, there's the code. There's the secret code. CL15 if you want to register to be in Las Vegas with us. And then I am going to introduce you to my co-partner in this venture, Jim Louderback, and founder of Inside the Creator Economy. But I'm going to give you one plug, and that is mark your calendars for April 14th, as we said, in Vegas, and right here on Zoom for April 25th, where we'll have our Earth Day celebration and look at how virtual and in-person events are changing the carbon footprint for better or worse. So, Jim, I'm going to toss to you.
All right. Thank you, Robin. And hello, everybody. Good morning. Today, what we're going to do, I'm going to spend a couple minutes talking about the state of the creator economy. We're going to talk to each of our guests and get a little sense of what they do and how they fit into the puzzle that is the creator economy. And then we'll do a little bit of roundtable questions, invite you guys to ask some questions, and that'll take us up through the hour. So thanks for being here. I am going to hop into something that just a real quick level set on the state of the creator economy today. And I call it the creator economy paradox. So let me take you through this really quickly. So it starts globally. If you think about how big is it? Well, this is what Goldman Sachs says. You can believe it or not, but $250 billion today. There are 200 million creators in the world, and it's going to almost double in 3 years to 500 billion. And that's about 20% of the overall media and entertainment industry right now in the US. So it's going to get big. Well, it's already big. It's going to get bigger. And if you take a look at this, there are about, of those 27 million creators in the US, about 11 million are full-time, 8 are part-time, 6 or so hobby. This comes from the Keller Advisory Group. I took a look at the methodology. It's pretty legit. They also found that for the creators that are full-time, what they're doing, the macro creators, the biggest of them, make about $350, average $180,000 a year, the mid-tier $120,000, micro, nano, even making money at 1,000 followers, 500 followers. So these full-time creators, once they get into it, can actually make some good money. But, and there's always a but, funding for global creator economy startups have cratered, fallen. They're down about 60% last year. We're seeing more and more of these creator economy startups start to have trouble finding money. And so they're selling themselves, they're going out of business, they're merging. So it's not really, if you think about it from a VC perspective, the best time to start a business in the creator economy, which is odd because there's so much money there. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail on why this is the case. You'll hear a lot about it at the NAB show when we do Creator Lab there. But it's not great if you're a venture funded startup and you took money in 2021 or 2022 and you need to raise today. The thing is, how creators are burning out. You've probably seen these stories. We've seen people like MatPat and others, big YouTube creators, leave the platform. We've seen burnout happening on TikTok, on Snap, on Instagram, everywhere. So that rush to fill the content pipeline and to feed the beast and to be a hamster, it's driving a lot of creators to just say, enough, basta, I'm out, I'm burned out, and I've had enough. And if you look at the platforms themselves, the teams that they built up to support creators, these creator partnership teams, they're basically all being laid off. We saw this at YouTube. We saw it at Instagram. We saw it at Facebook, Snap, TikTok, everywhere. These creator partnership teams are being decimated. So, you know, you're in this situation where creators can't get the help that they need. The startups to support them are going out of business. They're burned out. And so there's a lot of sort of Sturm and Drang happening in the creator economy. But, and again, we'll talk a lot more about this at Creator Lab at the NAB show, it's really never been a better time to be a creator. So that's the paradox. That's what we're going to talk a little bit about here as I jump in and introduce our panelists. So got a whole bunch of panelists here. I'm going to introduce them one by one and bring them up to chat, and then we're all going to talk together. So we're going to start off with Mike Schaiman, who's the CEO of GenCity Labs. Mike, come on down.
Well, all right.
Thanks.
Thanks for the intro. Yeah, my name is Mike Schaiman, CEO of GenCity Labs. We are a creative technology studio that builds immersive experiences. We build immersive environments and do a lot of brand work in the event space. I think one of the things that we've been seeing most recently as trending is brands really embracing the creator economy, really designing physical spaces to accommodate lots of micro broadcasters who are going to be pushing content out from those spaces, and really trying to harness the power and scale that comes with the embrace of creators. So whether it's creating a interactive experience in doing so, or whether it's just building out a physical space, been fascinating to watch the space evolve.
Yeah, how do you see the creator economy evolving in your world? More and more, are they building these sort of presences and trying to expand beyond just the, hi, mom, here I am sort of thing?
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing everything from, you know, the museum of ice cream type of Instagrammable moment, right? You want people to broadcast here, and we're building out a lot of those spaces, all the way through building full production studios and saying, come on in and use it for 10 minutes. We do a lot of work in retail as well. And, you know, we do a lot of work with Nike flagship stores globally. We're also seeing broadcast studios popping up in retail locations. So it's not just in the events and temporary spaces, but people are also embracing this as kind of permanent footprint. Come use us, and, you know, use us to reach the masses.
Very cool. All right, I am going to sit you down and bring up Eric Schwertzel, who is the U.S. Operations GM and Head of Business Development at ScreenKist. Eric, welcome.
Hey, Jim. How's it going? Greetings.
It's going good. Greetings to you too. And give me a sense, Eric, of what you guys do at ScreenKist and how are you seeing the creator economy change in your business?
Sure. So what ScreenKist does is we create software mainly for Fortune 1000 companies so that they can create better video conferencing. So think of it as like a TV studio that's kind of like in a box. And that's what the KISS means. That's the box part of it. So it's a professional video conferencing all live. Most of it's live, and then they use our software, so it has different camera transitions with virtual backgrounds and so forth. And it's affordable. That's the best part about it. As far as changes in the industry, initially we were targeting Fortune, say 5,000 companies, like banks, automotive, pharmaceutical firms, where they want to do a live broadcast to their employees and so forth, or their customers. And now we're seeing influencers and creators actually use our product mainly for YouTube.
Interesting. Now, what are you seeing in corporations more and more? I mean, look, if you look at those numbers, some huge percentage of the US population call themselves creators, right? Which means at Fortune 1000 companies, a huge percentage of their employees are creators. They might be in the closet, maybe nobody knows, but are you seeing more and more of these sort of creators that really identify as that coming out and really becoming part of the voice of these Fortune 1000 companies as well?
Yeah, so our software is being used for internal use or external use. When it's internal, it's typically the CEO or the CMO that becomes kind of like the face of the company, and it's for internal discussions. So typically, one of our clients, every month they do an internal Zoom, and that goes out to almost 10,000 employees globally at 18 offices around the world. So he does a live Zoom, and then everybody in the company kind of knows what's going on. But before, the Zoom was kind of boring. It's kind of like this, where you just see the head. And now it's like a TV show production where he's got different camera transitions. He's got media, PowerPoint. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like watching almost like a Saturday Night Live kind of experience now.
Yeah, how much production there is too much, or is think it's got to, like, the better it is, the more 3D graphics there is, the more going on, the more it feels like you're watching something on the big screen TV. Is that really where we're going for everything?
Well, some of these companies actually have TV studios, like literally the old school $3 million studio. And the problem is they can't replicate that across all their different offices around the world. So they have one main office that has that TV studio. So they'll keep that TV studio, but then they'll install our software in the other studios around the world.
Cool. By the way, but a quick question before I let you go and bring up the next speaker, and we'll bring you back, of course. But somebody wanted to know, are you going to be demoing this stuff at NAB Show?
Yeah, that's most certainly. So we're super
Okay.
excited for NAB and the Creator Lab, and we're going to be showcasing our software there. So come on down.
Can't wait to see you there, Eric. Thank you very much. Speaking of the NAB Show, I'm going to bring up a ringer on our session today. Emily Reigart, who's the senior editor at NAB Amplify. Emily, come on down, talk a little bit about yourself and what you do at NAB, and then give us a little preview as to what to get excited about at NAB Show this year.
Thanks, Jim. I'm really excited for this opportunity. I'm a senior editor for NAB Amplify, which is our sort of like digital hub, digital 365 presence outside of the show for people who are working in the media and entertainment industry. We produce a twice weekly and currently 3 times weekly newsletter called The Angle. We focus a lot of our content on content creation, the creator economy, and generative AI. So there's a lot that people on this call should be interested in on NAB Amplify. And we are super excited for the Creator Lab at NAB Show. This year, we are also having a number of creators who are going to be speakers. Notably, Casey Neistat will be coming to the show on Wednesday. Outside of Casey Neistat, we also will have our core education collection featuring a number of notable names in the creator economy. I don't know if you're familiar with Recess Therapy. We also have the newly formed Estate Media being represented, and also some people from Follow Me will be at the show this year.
Yeah, and at the Creator Lab, we're going to have Sean Does Magic. We're going to have a bunch of other creators. Lucky Lopez is there, who makes actually builds and does crazy auto builds in Las Vegas. So there will be creators all over the place. And you know, it's great that they're going to be all over NAB in general. The Creator Lab is definitely where they're all going to be hanging out. So definitely come there. Can't wait to see that. What else are you excited about at NAB Show this year that, you know, maybe it wasn't a big deal last year, but boy, it's going to be all over the place this year?
I mean, I think just the representation of the creator economy across the show floor, you know, we all like to talk about how the barrier to entry is really low. You know, if you have a phone, you can be a creator. But I don't think that anyone who's really serious about being a creator is probably going to stop there. You know, across all of the zones from Connect, create and capitalize, you'll see things that will help creators do a better job and expand their reach, upscale their content, and I think that's one of the things that I'm most looking forward to is the technology and the solutions.
Yep. And look, just to make sure, because I am a weather weenie, there's still going to be the trucks, the weather trucks, right? They chase hurricanes with them, and the stuff for being like the weatherman to point stuff out. I mean, that's not going away, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, thank God. I still remember my first NAB when I walked around. There was a freaking helicopter there. I'm like, you can buy a traffic helicopter in Vegas here. This is amazing. So can't wait to see you there, Emily. Thank you very much. I want to bring up next an old friend of mine, John Canning, who is now the Director of Developer Relations for Creators at AMD. John's been in the industry a long time. John, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I
tell me what you're up to. Give me the 411 on John.
All right. Well, I wanted to say that I was always a big fan of the launch vehicles, like the satellite launch vehicles that, you could go up and go, can I launch a satellite? And they go, yeah, sure. No. Yeah. But what I'm up to, I'm at AMD and I'm having a lot of fun because I'm working with partners. And anybody that's known me as you have, that's what I love doing. And my day job is to look after partners in the creator space. And I call it being, just almost like a weapons arms dealer of like helping get hardware to people to go make amazing things. And I just love doing that. I think the creator space, and I think it, bigger than sort of traditional media and entertainment, is so interesting. Just the mixture of different tools, technologies, making different kinds of content. It's no longer are you making television? Are you making a film? It's so interesting what people are making and creating. And I like to say, it's like the power of one. The creators that I see, individuals that are batting it way above their weight, and using professional tools, making professional content and making a living is like awesome. And how does that continue to grow? And to your point, you had the up and you had the down, but what I find with this group of folks is if you can find an audience and you can figure out how to monetize that audience and figure out how to like make that work for you, it can be of almost any size. It's just putting those pieces together. And I think you and folks here have been great, and the conversation at NAB is going to be more of that, like how to help those people connect those dots in a meaningful way to go do what they love.
Yeah, that was the real vision, is how do we help people build the infrastructure for their creator economy journey as a creator or in other businesses. And it's not just how do you make great content and how do you tweak the algorithm, but it's how do I get a great studio? How do I build the right infrastructure with different people who do what I'm not as good at, like finding an editor, finding a camera person, helping you with legal, helping you with business, and a lot more there. But John, you're in a NAB, AMD. There are too many letters on this. You're at AMD now, and AMD not only powers things like video editors and things like that, but also really big in the AI space, powering a lot of the models and doing more. And so talk about how you see AMD and the AI space really coming together out of it's changed what you do when you work with creators, and what we're going to see at the NAB show when we think about AI and AMD at NAB. I got all the letters out in the right order that time.
And I'll be there ASAP. What's great, and I feel like I'm going to be teeing up both working with Eric, who everybody has just met, and how we're talking about like, what does the software run on? What does he need? Where is he doing his processing? And Bob, who's going to be coming up, work with their company day in and day out. To me, AI, and I think our company we see it's yet more technology that is becoming pervasive across the whole ecosphere, right? So it's not just a cloud-based service. It's not just something that runs locally. I mean, you're seeing that running in different places for different reasons. You're seeing, need for big data centers doing a lot of training. You're looking at folks that are like, well, great. And again, I'll refer to some of your other folks that are coming on. they're building into their tool sets new and unique capabilities that are just helping people make more stuff, right? Like that's the beauty of it. A good friend of mine, I think, put it, he said, I don't see AI taking a lot of jobs. What I see is replacing a lot of tasks. And, you know, let's face it, everyone here that's done video editing and slogged their way through certain processes or edited a photo or struggled with writing some text and trying to get the phrasing right is looking at some of these tools going, finally. You know, I'm kind of excited about that, being able to take a word outline and drop it into PowerPoint and go poof, like, yeah. So for us, it's powering it, right? It's bringing the tools and technology with our hardware partners, you know, creating PCs and our software partners to make a whole stack that enables a creator, because it takes all of us, right? Like there isn't just one of us that's going to make this happen. It's the whole stack has to play nicely together, work well together to bring the power to a creator to go make something amazing. Is it just me or is Jim muted? I think Jim's muted.
That never happens.
I'm unmuted now. I went through this morning. I woke up, I had a great idea for a video. I came down here to my studio. I had recorded it in about a half hour, and using an AI editor, I was able to get the edit done in about that same amount of time, which never would have happened if I was stuck in some of the older editing systems. So you're going to see a lot more about that with some great companies there too. So really looking forward to that, John. I'm going to sit you down, and we did have Tyler Chow on the schedule here. She couldn't make it for personal reasons. She will be at the NAB show. She's a lawyer. She actually runs Tyler Chow Law for Creators. She and I actually caught up and did a little video about some of the stuff she's going to talk about at NAB when we were together a few weeks ago. I think we're going to see a little bit of that video, and then we're going to move on to our last speaker.
Roll tape.
Roll tape. What a knot. All right, I'm not going to dance. Maybe we'll work on getting that up. So I am going to bring up our next and last introduction, and then we'll get the group together. Ronit Cohn, who's a founder and CEO of the Cohn Talent Group, but also is an OG in the space, has worked with so many great creators, so many different places, and is bringing some of her top creators to the Creator Lab. I can't wait. So welcome, Ronit. Tell me what's up.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here because I feel like every day I'm just buried in my clients' worlds. So right now, my talent management company that I launched 5 years ago, our client list reaches over 137 million people every day. And I have creators across all different kinds of categories with different types of specialties in, you know, whether it's short form or long form content. And it's really an exciting time, especially with the news about TikTok. But what I'm really trying to build with them are building their own brand, like having their own personal brand, building their community. And then the last and most important one is building a healthy and diversified revenue business so that it will sustain them as we're building their career with an eye towards longevity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, building a sustainable career is so important, and it's so hard. And the creators that work with you, they're so lucky to have you because you can help them on that journey. Talk a little bit about the creators that you work with who are going to be there. I'm a big fan of Sean. Sean does magic. I've done stuff at Web Summit with him, other places. He comes to VidCon all the time. He and I are going to sit down on stage, right?
Yeah, we're really excited. And I know that one of the topics, I don't want to rush ahead, but around is YouTube old media. And it's funny just because talking about Sean, one of our priorities this year is actually YouTube long form. So it's like, I feel like we're going back to the 1.0 days of like the old, like the native form of storytelling on YouTube is back. And that's something that we're really excited to dive in, especially since he is a native short form creator.
Yeah, that'll be a theme of a lot of what we talk about. I've got some of the folks that are doing the YouTube new wave stuff, who are like sort of old wave, as you talked about, who are building creator camp. We're going to come in and talk a little bit about that. What I think I've titled the fight for the soul of YouTube. So looking forward to that. We've got Regina and Daniela there as well. Really excited to hear about how they sort of rebuilt their career after they were in one place and now they're doing their own thing. So yeah, tell me a little bit about them, and then we'll bring everyone else up.
Yeah, absolutely. So Regina and Daniela were part of this uber popular YouTube franchise called Spy Ninjas. And when the heads of that company decided to disband, they had to build everything from scratch. And within the first month they were on YouTube, or they returned to YouTube with just 2 videos, they had 200,000 subscribers. And just it's amazing to see not just the fans find them again, but the fans who are literally saying, I started watching you 5 years ago and I've grown up with you. And so it's actually great to hear that testimony and to see that the audience is aging up along with the creator.
Well, and it's also great to know that it's not too late to start a YouTube channel and build big success, which is a little bit of what we're going to talk about. It's never too late to start as a creator and build, no matter what platform you want to build on. All right, with that, I'd like to invite Mike, Eric, Bob, Emily, John to join me and Ronit, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the issues of today and a lot of what we're talking about. So
Hey,
let's
Jim,
get, yeah.
let's hear from Bob a little bit about what's going on the hardware end.
Oh, wait, I didn't get to Bob. How did I miss Bob on my list?
Because you were freaked out about saying his name.
Bob Caniglia is coming up. I got totally confused.
Well done.
Bob, where were you?
I was right here, and I was waiting to say, what about Bob? But that's okay.
But what about
all
Bob?
good.
Sorry, Bob. By
That's
the way,
quite all
Bob's from, wait, I have to introduce you now. Hold on a minute. Hold on.
Okay.
Director of Sales Operations from Blackmagic Design, one of the best companies out there building. Started with really traditional television, I think, but really has moved into the creator space with some of their cameras, their switchers, and a lot of the other stuff. And look, and their editor, DaVinci Resolve. If you are not using their hardware and software, why not? So talk a little bit about what you're up to and how you see it changing, both Blackmagic and how the creator economy is changing as well.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, during the pandemic, a lot of things accelerated. Clearly, we all started doing Zoom calls and things like that. And throughout the process, people wanted to step up their game. Now, also because of the pandemic, Blackmagic, we were able to kind of shift some of our direction in terms of products. We were making features. When I first started, I had an ATEM and I had a camera in front of me, but they weren't talking to each other. Now I have full control of the camera through the software and things like that. So as that progressed, we basically gave people tools to start making content at home, multicam on their own. I used to laugh saying I could probably switch with my foot if I needed to switch cameras and things. But, you know, overall, we have enabled the masses, and they've taken us up on it and have purchased a lot of things, but have created tons of content. And you don't need, you know, I went to editing school 35 years ago. I would have needed $500,000 to have an edit suite at home. Now I have free software that does way more than that thing.
Yeah, what's your message to somebody? You know, we talked with Ronit about starting out. What's your message to somebody who maybe is starting out as a creator, wants to build something that they can work with now, but want to grow with as well? How do they get started?
Sure.
What can they use? And how do you build something that's going to last you as your arc of the creator goes up, up, and up?
Well, the good thing is that you can actually start right now with 2 pieces of free software that we have. One is if you have an iPhone, you can download the camera app, right? That app's going to change that camera to give you the capabilities of professional cameras. And then on top of that, you can use our cloud service, which you can sign up for free, but you can also use DaVinci Resolve, as you mentioned earlier, that does color grading, editing, you know, audio, visual effects, all of that. So those 2 free pieces of software will actually level up whatever you're trying to do now and get you started. Then along the lines of our cameras and our ATEM switchers, all of them, depending on how, it doesn't matter how large they are, the operating system and the way that they work are the same. So you could show up on set and say, I've used maybe one of our small pocket cameras, but then you get there and there's a 12K camera. It's not going to be intimidating because you know the menu structure. So you kind of understand our philosophy no matter where you start in the pyramid of our product line. And I think that helps a lot of people be able to move up and down the line depending on what they're doing. There are people that use at the high end, but then they need to help out their church, or they're doing, you know, things for schools. It's amazing to see where the products end up, and I think that's been the biggest treat to watch over the last 15 years that I've been here.
Yeah, and I'm going to give you a big thumbs up for the iOS camera, and I will say that it works on iPads as well, which is how I use it. I'm mostly an Android person. I've got my little iPad mini I carry around with me, and it is it basically puts the tools that a filmmaker would want into the hands of anybody with an iPhone or an iPad. It's fantastic. It's not on Android yet, but maybe it'll get there soon. The other thing I want to say is, we're talking a lot about video creators here, but I want to say that we're also going to be incorporating podcasters and what they do at Creator Lab as well. And I was just talking with a friend of mine, Ivan Zeldovic, who spoke last year at NAB when on stage, and he's now building a business where he's putting in sort of bespoke studios for podcasting in Dubai and Singapore and beyond, where basically you for $150, you go in for an hour, you record, you leave, and he's using a lot of technology there, a lot of what you guys produce, just to make it really easy to create the video, create the audio, switch between them, live switch, and then get out quickly. So talk about podcasting and the sort of areas that you think people are using what you do for podcasting too.
Sure. I mean, what's interesting is I've actually wanted to do my own podcast for a long time. I thought about it, but then I just got, I didn't want to do it unless I could record video at the same time and make it easy, because I don't have a room full of people. I got me. But some of our new switchers do ISO recording. So you can ISO record while you're there, and then it creates a DaVinci Resolve project. So you can go in and go back and fix all the edits that you didn't do. Or if you didn't switch while you're doing the podcast because you're just recording, it's really easy to set up a multicam and just drop in the cuts and whatnot. So those tools are there now, and we've expanded our audio capability so you could actually bring all your audio in separately and then record those files separately. So there are definitely a lot of tools that we've created for people to basically be able to pull out a podcast, because when you're using the Fairlight audio engine in the ATEM and then also in Resolve, you're able to get really great audio. And we have some really cool tools that are just easy to use, but do the work that it used to take a lot longer to do and a lot more bells, whistles, and technology. And now it's like a click of the button and it cleans up your audio. So I think those kind of tools are really going to help people do more and more of it.
Yeah, super cool. Psyched to dive into that. And actually, I think we're going to have Adam Carolla as one of his technical people there. He's going to talk about the studio that he built and how he kind of put all that together. So that's going to be exciting at the Creator Lab as well at NAB Show. So make sure you come check that out. Everybody here will be there. And so now let's bring everyone back up and to join me and Bob to talk a little bit about what's really going on in the creator economy right now.
Let me give you one more quick plug. We're also going to have Mark Hustfeldt, who's president of Mr. Beast, with us, talking about how you grow. And I think to Adam Carolla also, they didn't start out as the big Adam Carolla show. It started very simply and built up. We're also going to let you make yourself into a hologram with Holo Connects. We have Opus teaching you about video. We've got Lucid Link, we've got Licked, and if you don't think audio is an important part of your productions, Licked will show you how everybody, it's kind of like the Spotify of music. We've got Verbit to take you both closed captions and translations, because we all know that to reach larger audience, you've got to be multi-language. And Canvas Immersive Design, which has a way of creating hybrid events for creators that are pretty awesome. So just a plug to come see us at the show, because there's a lot to do.
Yeah, and we're going to be up on the South Hall in the back on the second floor, and it's always going to be huzzing and humming and buzzing and places to hang out and chill with us and chat and do meet and greets and things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You should all be there. Let's jump into a question, and I want to start off with what everyone's talking about right now, which is, what the F is going on with TikTok and the US government? It's going to get shut down. It's going to get sold. Is it going to happen? Is it not? Who wants to, John's going like, what? I don't know. Who wants to kick this off and tell me what they think is going to happen with TikTok?
All right,
I gotta call on people. Ronit, go ahead.
I think it'll get sold.
Yeah. How, by the way, what are your conversations with your creators like? Who are big on TikTok, and it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What are they going to do?
Well, one of my creators was in DC yesterday with TikTok in support of TikTok. But the last time that this happened, it was kind of a wake-up call, and I really encourage my clients to think critically about where they're making their money and where they have the opportunity to grow their community and to also create content that gives them an opportunity to grow their career as an artist. And TikTok, in my opinion, hasn't been the ideal place for that kind of growth. And so I've been steering them to invest more of their time off TikTok in the last couple of years. So I feel it for me, it's just validation of the direction that I've been giving my clients. But I do know that it's kind of a sudden, scary thing for a lot of the creators out there.
Well, anybody else want to talk about TikTok? John, come on. What do you think about TikTok? Sold? What's going on?
I think it's a really interesting time. And I think what's going on is it's going to have an interesting ripple effect. If you think about other multinational companies that have, large audiences and different geographies, I'm curious what's going to be the backlash of this, right? If you think about privacy laws in other countries, you think about where data for, large social content networks exists and access to that and the arguments of why this is going on. I wonder what the ripple effect's going to be. What other what other countries will decide that other services, some that are based in the US, may need to follow the same kind of things that we're laying down here. So I wonder about that. But I also look at, the rise and fall of distribution entities. And TikTok, to me, yet another distribution entity, right? Break it down. It's a way to reach an audience. And some come and some go, and great content. If I look at the number of people that are like the cross-referencing between X and Instagram and TikTok, and it's like, they're like, oh, I changed my content slightly for this network, or I can do this on this, but I can't do it on that, or like, it's almost like water. It will flow to where they can go. And so if it does go the way of the dodo, or does get greatly impacted, or does get regulated in a way that restricts content creators, what's next? Like, there's another one popping up or being created. Or so I think that's the exciting part is like, if TikTok was the only way to reach humanity, yeah, we'd be screwed. But it's not. And as you mentioned, the rise of or the comeback of YouTube in a way, it's like, well, okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm more worried about like what like I said, the impact of the ripple effect and the legislation that governments are doing, and backlash against other companies that this could cause, than I am of, oh my God, there won't be a place to put your content.
Yep. Anyone else want to jump in?
I'll dive in. I think, John, what you're talking is pretty spot on, right? Essentially, it boils down to platform dependency. You have a creator who is dependent and whose audience is aggregated in a single place. And then, if they do that and they only focus on a single medium, single channel, then clearly if that channel goes away, their audience is kind of in the wind. Versus, spreading out across Insta, YouTube, Twitch, Snap, name your platform of choice, right? You have the same thing going on, not just with the restrictions of content, but with monetization. So, which platforms are the most productive? And actually, Ronit, I'd love to find out from you where your creators making the most money. Because I had heard recently that Snap pays really, really well for those people that are crushing it on Snap, better than almost anywhere else. But that's another big deal. And then third part of this is, can creators take their audience with them? If I'm on Insta and Insta has some draconian policy that they drop, or I'm on TikTok and TikTok is no longer a viable option, where am I taking that audience? How am I monetizing that? And how do I transition them? What value does that have? I'm bringing 10 million people with me to another platform. how do I extract value as a creator from that transition?
Yeah, those are great questions. I don't know. Ronit, you want to talk a little bit about your creators and where they're making money, and then I'll keep on going around?
Yeah, absolutely. YouTube by far is the biggest source. I've had creators make a ton of money on Snap, but it's like for limited bursts, like, and there's no real proven strategy of how to grow or maintain it. So those are the two key ones, but really it's YouTube. YouTube has always been the best kind of payout for creators.
Yeah, YouTube really, they are the ones that get it. Who else wants to jump in on this one? Bob, did you want to talk a little bit about it?
The thing I wanted to say is that I'm glad I didn't get rid of my MySpace account, because you never know, it might have a comeback.
There it was.
There you go. All right, Dogster and Catster coming back.
All right, I got to do my Pollyanna thing. So first of all, I love to say, TikTok, I don't know, I can't speak for the national security issues, but I can speak for the national IQ issues and what's, what their, what the motive is there. I will also say that Douyin, which is the Chinese counterpart of TikTok, they have very strict restrictions against, in particular for kids, when they can use it, only on weekends, only after their homework's done. I mean, this is a national thing. And if I just got to get on my soapbox and say, if our legislators in their wisdom would think more like that, I think we'd be better off than sitting here figuring out what's going to happen with TikTok.
Yeah, by the way, I have to say, I'm wearing my TikTok colors today. So, I don't want to see TikTok shut down. I think changes need to happen, but TikTok
it'll be worth a lot on eBay. Look at it that way.
There you go. It's going to be worth something on eBay. Eric, wait, who do we not hear from? Eric, did we not hear from you?
Yeah, for me, TikTok is more of a political discussion more than anything else, and I think it's more to grab attention. I don't think anything's going to happen. Just like I think it was in the press, 6 months ago, approximately. So yeah, I'm not expecting any great changes, but I do agree with what John and Mike were saying earlier. The greater repercussions if things were to happen, and how does that impact other types of distribution channels?
Globally. Okay, we're going to go to questions in just a minute, but Emily, do you want to say anything? By the way, I didn't go to you.
Sure. I think that it's also important to look at the TikTok conversation in light of the fact that the regulators are trying to get their arms around a lot of the problems that they perceive of social media in general, which is sort of riding the coattails of what Robin mentioned. They're differentiating with TikTok because of the association with the CCP, but it's not just about that. This is also probably likely to accelerate the trend of creators trying to own their own material and own the means of distribution for more effective monetization for the ones that are smart and the ones that are able to move on that effectively.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I mean, look, it's going to happen, I think, relatively quickly. I hope it happens quickly, that we get it done, and we'll see where that goes. So I have we're going to go to questions of the audience in just a minute. I have a quick round robin set of questions I want to do with everybody here. AI. So a lot of talk about AI, good, bad, great for creators, not for creators. I'm going to call each of you and I want you to give me your 15 to 30 second AI. Is it a panacea? Is it poison? Is it going to change the world? Or is it just a bunch of hype? Mike, I'm going to start with you.
I think it was stated earlier, AI is an incredibly useful tool. I don't think it's going to be a replacement. I do think that we'll be challenged to recognize human created content versus AI created content. I think that'll be a big one. I think what a lot of this does for me, and this is very self-serving, is it increases the importance of in real life events and experiences, and not just looking at things that are broadcast, because there's going to be so much content created, both human generated and AI generated, that the importance of people congregating, the importance of people getting together is just, gonna be higher and higher. So I think that, I'm optimistic about AI in terms of what it can do. B, I'd say there needs to be some way to have some taxonomy about how the content is created and what people are watching. And C, I think that, people need to be at events, at experiences in real life and meeting with each other in order to really actually have that emotional impact and participate, as opposed to just, view from the sidelines.
Yep. Ronit, how about you?
So in my core, I'm an artist, and I'm all for tools that will help in the creation of content, but not necessarily when it eliminates the artistic elements that go into the creation of that content. So I'm for it, but then up to a certain point.
All right, John, you're up.
Magic mask. Boom. Right? Like, I mean, to me, I've just the tools. I'm just doing a shout out to my friends over at Blackmagic, but like any of these tools, I'm excited what we can do with it and what we can make with it. And I'm like, never make me do roto again in my life, please, ever again.
Yeah, I feel that way about some stuff that AI helps me with too. By the way, put your questions in the chat if you've got a question for anybody here. Of course, you can ask them questions at NAB Show as well, but please pop some questions up. Emily, I'm going to you. You're next on my, it's like the Hollywood Squares, or what's my line of our Zoom call.
I would like to say that I'm cautiously optimistic about AI. I think that the tools are going to be incredible, but we still need to come to some sort of consensus around the ethics around deploying generative AI and other forms of it. I think that this is clearly a conversation that's going to be ongoing for a long period of time. And I think this is another instance where when regulators try and step in, we all can get a little bit nervous as much as we want to coalesce around something. So I think that having conversations about the future as it retains to this is going to be increasingly important.
Yep, makes sense. Eric?
Yeah, we're really excited about AI. I think people are underestimating the power of AI. We're going to be demonstrating photorealistic AI hosts within our software. And we already have people that want to have artificial hosts. In fact, we're actually doing a commercial for an alcohol brand using everything's going to be literally everything is artificial, and it's powered by AI to create the commercial. So I think it's going to be creating a lot of job opportunities for smaller people, like smaller companies, to create amazing content.
Everything's going to be artificial, but the alcohol is not. It's real. Bob, what about you? Take us home on the topic.
Well, I mean, as John mentioned, we already have some AI tools that help, speed up the process. And I think the thing about speeding up the process is you just get better work. I remember when nonlinear editing came in, everyone said, oh, we'll be able to finish the job sooner. I'm like, no, we won't. We'll just spend more time making it better. And that's exactly what we wound up doing. And so I think it's similar with that. I'm not a big fan of it replacing humans to do, speaking or, taking my likeness and deciding that, Bob can retire. We'll just use him to do all the PR stuff from now on using AI. But speeding up processes and helping people have better tools to make better content in the end, all for that.
See, I'm okay with taking an AI version of myself, letting it loose on the internet, let it make money for me. So we'll see where that goes. That actually ties into a question that came in, which I'm going to put out here. And if you want to jump in, please do. Brother Rick Nelson says, I'm an old school broadcaster. How do people make money on these social media platforms? Who wants to take that first?
I will. It's through the advertising that's placed before, during, and after the content. But I would say the most critical part, if you can, is trying to cultivate an audience in certain countries that are English speaking, because the money that you're going to make on that content is significantly higher than from non-English speaking countries.
Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in real quick. We have brands that are creating their own brand channel, so they're not dependent on advertising revenue. But what they are dependent on is the eyeballs. So they're taking their traditional TV media budget and then putting it into a YouTube channel.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of ways, and it's evolving, I think. One more, and then we've got one last question we're going to jump to. Anybody else want to talk about making money? John, come on. You want to talk about making money. How are
I like
creators making money? You've been working with creators for a long time as well.
No, but I mean, yeah, several folks have nailed it, and I saw some of the comments in there. I like, again, it's if you're coming from traditional broadcast, there's a whole lot of layers on how you make money, right? I got into this conversation of the great Nielsen sort of, yeah, the how we measured audiences and how advertisers paid for it and things like that. There's a whole lot in broadcast, right? And a whole lot of traditional linear media. A lot of people that have their hands out through the process. If you think about it, what we're talking about is taking a lot of those hands out of the process that take money between you and folks on the other side. And again, some people have subscription channels. Some people, do get paid from that advertising network, but it's a shorter distance between you and the audience. And so how you monetize that depending on the platform. I mean, I don't see it used as much as I think it should be on Amazon, that you can produce content and then directly associate it with product, right? So you could, I've seen Amazon video channels that are nothing more than producing content to sell physical product. The product is the thing there, they're making the money. The content is just the advertisement. It's like, it's sort of like, what's your story? What are you selling? And now this means you can just get to the audience to sell much easier. It's like the eBays of the world and selling stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can do it as far as, there are ways that you can sell things directly. There's UGC stuff where you can actually create content for a brand that runs on the brand channel. You're more of sort of work for hire. So a lot of ways there, or, you could, like Mike, have a famous dog that comes up and he can show his dog off to everybody, which I see right there. I see your dog.
Yeah, you can.
And MK Granados says here that I just want someone to pay me for product placement in my daily Zoom meetings, which I love too. One last question from Brian Ring before we shut down. I love this question too. A lot of big creators have launched fast channels, ad-supported 24/7 streams, Samsung TV, Roku, LG, etc. What do we think about the commercial potential for creators to launch their own TV fast channels? Anybody?
Boy, that sounds like a lot of content and not enough eyeballs to get to it.
If there was only a company that aggregated a bunch of these linear channels.
It's a heck of an idea, John.
Yeah.
Well, no, wait. Here's the promise. Wait. So I'm an OG, not me. I'll just say, pretend that I am an OG creator and I've been creating content for 15 years or 10 years. And I've been doing, a half hour of content or an hour of content a week. That is an F load of content. I can string it all together and just run it on a loop in my fast channel. And is that a business? I don't know, but that's kind of, you don't need to create new content for it. Just take all your old stuff and shove it up there. Ronit, are any of your creators doing anything with that?
Wasn't that revision 3?
But John said the right word, aggregation. I mean, you're going to see them at NAB. There are the power of multiple creators on a channel that you can find, whether it's for talent. You're going to see video shopping explode this year. And that's the idea that people don't want to see your static image anymore, or even a 3D image. And you're also going to see, I'm not going to use the M word, but immersive technologies. There's a great place for creators, whether it's in Fortnite, in Roblox, or whatever is yet to come. So I think one of the things you can learn from Mr. Beast and Mark Hustevelt is think of yourself as a brand, not just a creator. The guy said everything from burgers to hotels. You saw it with NFTs that had a little dip and will resurrect themselves. But people who are digitally native and AI native are going to be very used to transacting in a creator-driven world in multiple channels.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with what Robin just said. I think the shopping channels are going to be really, really popular. And I also expect probably by the end of the year, a Sora-based channel.
That's terrifying. But yes, and I see Will Kreth is in the room. Will, we're going to get you on to do your show. Will, if you're interested in digital identity, persistent identity through all your different characters, he's the guy you should talk to. I don't know that, Jim, are we going to have time now? You're the boss.
I don't think so. This thing, we've got 3 minutes left.
This is Jim's show.
No, this is Robin's show, but I will say we've got really 3 minutes left, and I think starting and ending on time is something that I think is important personally. So, but Robin, it's your show. You want to bring up anybody else to chat? Go for it.
No, I think we're going to do we'll do a follow-up on digital identity. I do want to thank, oh my God, I'm going to get this right. Don't leave out Bob. That's the one thing I learned. Bob, Emily, Eric, Ronit, John, Mike, but most of all, Jim Louderback. We've been working together. Oh, Jim, we can't even say how many years, but
there were dinosaurs around.
It's always fresh, always. And so I can't thank him enough for doing this, and can't thank NAB enough for sort of marching forth on this thing. I think it is really time. Media and entertainment broadcast are changing, and we have so much to do to make this happen and profitable for everybody involved. So we'll see you on the 25th. Should I dare go? See, Earth Day on the 25th. Come talk about your carbon footprint at events, and we'll see you at Creator Lab. But thank you for spending a lovely hour with us. You're all so smart and wonderful to hear from.